few months ago, my roommate died. We didn't know what happened to him for a while, and after a few days, the cops declared it as a suicide. I'm not going into the details of his death, but I am going to talk about my experiences after the incident. I was mostly alone in my apartment and I had nightmares about him, especially days that followed his death. In my dreams, he was always in all fours like a beast, and he raged towards me, and I would wake up drenched in sweat. I had to pass by his bedroom every time I had to use the washroom, and I would always take a moment to open his bedroom door, hoping and at the same time fearing that he would be there. Whenever I cooked, I kept looking behind my back to see if he was standing right behind me. But my experiences were just that. They were my experiences and illusions which stemmed from my fear and lack of understanding. This had nothing to do with him or his death. If he had simply moved to another part of town, I would have understood his absence and I wouldn't certainly be afraid of it. But why is this any different? Maybe because of all the questions that I had in my mind. For starters, what happened to him? He was here just days ago talking to me, sharing his problems. I've seen him. He was happy. He had one of the most beautiful smiles. Sometimes he was angry and sometimes he was sad. Like all of us, he had hopes and dreams. What happened to those emotions and aspirations? Did they also die with the person? When I saw his face in the morgue, I clearly saw that something was missing. Something that was there just days ago. Life was missing. It is indescribable, but clearly I could spot the difference between a living person and a dead body. Life and death. It is equally baffling that we all just accepted the fact that he's dead and moved on so quickly. Death is widely accepted but not understood, and I feel like we fear what we don't understand. We have evolved and traveled quite far as a species, but our primal fear of unknown is still safely tucked in. We don't know what lies beyond, and by default, we imagine the worst. There's $1 billion industry that makes its money by just imagining the worst. My grandma was 99 when she died, and my sister was holding her hand and observed the whole process of dying from such close proximity. Her experience was incredibly painful, but undeniably amazing. I asked her about it, and she described her experience as follows. Quote, "One thing I can never forget is that final moment of Grandma's existence. I was holding her hand and telling her that everything is going to be okay. She was looking at me the whole time and she even tried to say something a couple of times. Suddenly I noticed a corner of her neck began to flutter. It looked as if a butterfly was caught in the throat and was trying to get out, and moments later the fluttering stopped, and almost immediately her eyes opened so wide, and I knew at that moment that she was gone. I always think that life left her body through her eyes, and for me to have seen that from so close is just unbelievable." In some cultures, the process of dying is celebrated. In some Eastern European countries, the doors and windows are left open when a person is dying for their soul to leave peacefully. In southern parts of India, when a person dies, many dance to exciting tunes on the way to the burial ground, as the exciting music and joyous dancing sets the tone for their journey to the beyond. These are simple gestures, but they mean so much. We can easily ridicule these traditions by asking several seemingly logical questions, but an important significance of these traditions is that they tell us that this is an age-old conversation. Our ancestors were equally baffled and intrigued with death and the curiosity about what lies beyond. Actually, I think they were more open and honest about death in the past than us, because right now, most of us are running away from it or are taught to distract ourselves from such depressing ideas. In 2008, the University of Southampton sponsored a massive scientific study called AWARE, examining the broad range of mental experiences in relation to death. It included 15 hospitals from 3 countries, namely the United States, United Kingdom, and Austria, and it involved 2,060 patients. Researchers tested the validity of the conscious experience with objective markers for the very first time to determine whether the claims of out-of-body and near-death experiences correspond to the real events. Dr. Sam Parnia, Assistant Professor of Critical Care Medicine and Director of Resuscitation Research at the State University of New York, is the lead author of this study. He described the foundation of the study as such, quote, Contrary to perception, death is not a specific moment, but a potentially reversible process that occurs after any severe illness or accident causes the heart, lungs, and brain to cease functioning. If attempts are made to reverse this process, it is referred to as cardiac arrest. However, if these attempts do not succeed, it is called death. In this study, we wanted to go beyond the emotionally charged yet poorly defined term of near-death experience to explore objectively what happens when we die.
Now, what's fascinating is that, and this is a big problem in science, is that you can never really separate consciousness from brain activity. So it's kind of a chicken and egg situation. Which one comes first? They work together. If you study patients that I work with, so I'm an intensive care physician, my goal is to prevent people from dying in the first place when they become critically ill. But unfortunately, whether we like it or not, some people do go beyond the threshold of death. And cardiac arrest, it's very important to appreciate, is death. There is no difference between cardiac arrest and death from a biological perspective. So what happens when someone has a cardiac arrest is the heart stops beating, they stop breathing, and within moments, the entire bodily function, including the brain, shuts down. So that's how we write the death note, we declare someone as being dead. However, through advances in science in the last 50 years or so, we're now able to push back that boundary and potentially bring back a whole person. I won't bore you with the details of how, but CPR being the most basic format, and then there's a lot more to it. So essentially, the reason why this is important is that when somebody's gone through a cardiac arrest, when they've technically gone beyond the threshold of death, we have a situation where, whether we like it or not, the brain shuts down. So now you can study the mind, consciousness, the psyche, the soul, the self, whatever you want to call it, in a clinical context where the brain has been switched off. Now, of course, we would expect there to be no consciousness present when the brain has shut down. That would be common sense. However, over the last few decades, thousands, if not millions of people from all over the world have anecdotally reported being conscious, being aware, having memory, being able to see things, and recalling in precise detail what doctors and nurses were doing, conversations, clothing, etc., except they're recalling things from a period when their brain had flatlined, they had gone beyond the threshold of death. So what we study is essentially those experiences. We're trying to understand whether those experiences are real. Do they really occur when the brain has shut down, which is a complete paradox?
In this study, there was a curious case where a patient seemed to be conscious for full 3 minutes when there was no heartbeat, and the experiences of the patient was validated as the detailed recollection of the patient corresponded with the actual events during that time. It came off as paradoxical and hugely surprising, as the common understanding is that the brain activity ceases all functions within 20 to 30 seconds and doesn't resume until the heart has been restarted. The study concluded that more genuine scientific and medical research is needed in this area without any prejudice. So, coming to our question, what happens after death? Where do we go? Advaita Vedanta, an ancient Indian school of philosophy, has a different view on death than the conventional view. When it comes to Advaita, the act of ceasing to exist in one form cannot even be termed as death. It is merely a transformation. It is in line with the law of conservation of energy. Energy can be neither created nor be destroyed. It can merely be transformed from one form to another. According to Advaita, when a form dies, the energy or the soul goes back to its basic components, the elements, which then take another form such as grass, water, ants, etc., and the cycle repeats. I think they're on to something here, but I have to be honest. Lately I'm realizing that I can't say anything for certain. The only thing that I know is the fact that I don't know anything, and everything can be questioned at their primal level, and the only thing that's left to do is to observe quietly. So I'm not a believer of anything, but there's a proverb in my native language that I really like. I would like to translate it to you, to the ones who are still watching. It goes like this: those who have seen it has never talked about it, and those who are talking about it has never seen it. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Have you ever had any odd experiences with death or dying? If so, I would love to hear about it. So leave the answers in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like and share it with your like-minded friends on social media. Check out all the other videos I did. I'm including some of my recent videos of this series. You can click and watch them. I hope your new year is going really well. I started to produce content for YouTube a couple of months ago, and I'm going to continue and make a lot more videos. And I will post one every week through 2017. Consider subscribing to my channel. It helps a lot and you will be updated whenever I post a new video. Thank you so much and see you soon.